Hey everyone, it's Alid here, and welcome back to the All-Star Gaming channel. So today I'm going to be doing my first ever review on the channel, which will hopefully be the first of many more to come. So this video has taken a bit longer than I would have wanted to, as I've just moved back from uni in the past couple of weeks, so I've been busy packing and unpacking all my stuff while still trying to carry on studying. Anyway, back to the topic at hand, which is the reviews. So how the reviews will work on this channel is a little bit different to how my blogs work. So in my blogs I do like a breakdown of all the features within the game, whereas these videos are going to be more general thoughts and discussions about the game and maybe some topics surrounding it as well. So if you do want a more extensive breakdown of all the features and what's involved in the game, go check out my blog. The link will be in the description below. But anyway, let's get into the first review. Today we're going to be reviewing Mario Strikers Battle League. Now this is the latest addition to the Mario sports titles, and it's something that I really loved growing up. So growing up, the Wii was probably the console I spent the most time playing. It was the one that we had for most of my childhood, and I played mostly sports games because I didn't really know much better at the time. But one of my favourite games on that console was Mario Strikers Charged. I love the aggressive attitude of the characters, as it gave them a personality that you don't really see in any other Mario titles, and it's the reason today why Shy Guy, Trooper Koopa and Diddy Kong are some of my favourite Mario characters, and if I have a chance to pick them in games, I probably will. And it seems like a lot of people within the community shared these thoughts and loved the previous games as well. So when Battle League was announced, there was a lot of hype surrounding this game, but that meant that the game had to live up to the reputation of the previous Strikers games, more than probably any other Mario spin-off apart from obviously the likes of Mario Kart. And in a lot of ways, it does. Battle League truly captures the essence of the previous games, and characters surprisingly still have an aggressive attitude, as if they actually want to flatten each other with shells all day. Which, come to think of it, sounds much better than plumbing. Anyway, the core aspect of this game will feel very familiar to anyone who's played Strikers before. Matches are still as chaotic, but the mechanics have been streamlined a little bit to make it easier to play online, which also might explain why there are no pitch obstacles or sidekicks like in the previous game. So on the pitch, Battle League feels like a natural progression. However, off the pitch is where things begin to slide. Let's start things off with the good changes. So the gear system is a fantastic idea that really elevates the gameplay and provides some much needed variety to the short list of characters. It also offers a custom experience as players can tailor their favourite characters to their playstyle. I opted to change my characters around so that they possessed one or two high quality traits so they could play in certain roles. For example, I focused on strength and passing with Donkey Kong so that he could be a rock at the back that could then start a counter-attack. But if you wanted to make Toad be an absolute unit, you could do exactly that. Another new idea that has been introduced into Battle League is Striker'S Club, a pro club style mode where you can play with your friends online and compete against other clubs to climb up the table. It's a great concept that suits the more advanced mechanics of Battle League, and it's something that wasn't really available or really thought of at the time of the previous games. So it seems like Nintendo saw the potential in Strikers to become a competitive online game that could lead to ventures into the esports scene, which is really cool to see. It's cool to see a company like Nintendo thinking about that. However, the execution of Striker's Club hasn't really hit the target at all. So this has mainly been down to the continued problems with Nintendo's online services. I'd be going into a game and the connections would be constantly weak, and this would cause the game to lag or cut out entirely and miss chunks of the game, like seconds of gameplay. And issues like this make Battle League systems, which are heavily reliant on timings, extremely difficult to pull off. And whilst the connection isn't really something that can be blamed on the developers of Battle League, there are plenty of issues within this mode that can be blamed on the developers themselves. Like, for some reason, you can only have 2 people play from the club at the same time, even though there are 4 characters on each team, and you can play with 8 people offline. On top of this, the characters you can select are limited to just picking a captain, and the rest are pretty much picked for you. This practically eliminates the gear system and any other sort of strategies that you may have developed offline, which is sort of the whole buying point of this game. I think a lot of people like myself who are fans of the previous games were really looking forward to seeing these elements being transitioned into the online space to create a very competitive and social community, but that hasn't really seemed to happen at all, which is something that people could accept if the online modes are as good as they have been in the previous games. But at launch, unfortunately, that's not been the case either. Currently, there are only 2 modes for offline in Mario Strikers Battle League: Quick Battle and Cup Battle. Both modes fail to provide any real incentive to play, apart from coins to unlock new gear. Cup Battle is considered the main offline mode, but the mode itself is just a few games that are stringed together and then put into a bracket format. If you compare this to Mario Strikers Charge, that game had a fleshed out Road to the Strikers Cup mode that let you unlock new characters and stadiums as you progressed, as well as a challenge mode along with the standard exhibition matches or quick battles. Whilst I can understand why the Cup mode is less advanced in Battle League due to the focus on Striker's Club and online, there's no reason not to offer challenges that help increase the playtime and provides more progression into the game. You know, even something like a league mode where you play against all the available captains would have added a lot more and persuaded more people to continue playing. But in my opinion, the one thing that has really hurt Battle League's offline modes is the lack of unlockable content. Both the previous games had good unlockables like new playable characters, like one of my favourites, Diddy Kong. So removing that in this game was always going to cause issues, as people were expecting it. This is especially true when looking at the size of the initial roster. During the trailers, I was convinced that there had to be some unlockable characters in this game, but the only thing that we get for completing cup battles is new gear. Instead of having the joy of working hard to unlock a new character, we're gonna get new stuff in DLC, which leads me on to the final, more general issue with Mario sports games that Strikers just seems to be another victim of, and that is the recent trend for especially these Mario sports games that has been to release a game that's lacking content and then just release more content as DLC in the future. Whilst Nintendo are not the only ones using this method, they have been repeat offenders, especially when it comes to these Mario sports titles. This is a topic that I want to discuss further in another video at some point, as it's becoming more of a general issue with these games. So if you want me to go over that, leave a like on this video so that I know that you're interested. But for now, we'll focus on these Mario sports games in particular. Recent games like Mario Golf Super Rush and Switch Sports have released with the bare minimum for the number of game modes and features. Then Nintendo will release free DLC for them a few months later and advertise it as bonus features, despite the fact that they should have probably just been in the game in the first place. And for a while, the reason had been because of the pandemic, which has been a valid reason for a lot of delays. Lots of games are still struggling with the aftermath and being delayed even into next year. But Nintendo expects us to pay full price for a half-finished game and then just wait to receive the updates in the future. And whilst it's great that these updates have been free so far, they should just be included in the game at launch. And unfortunately, Strikers Battle League was just the latest casualty in this growing issue, and they made it worse for themselves by announcing post-launch content before the game had even released. You know, there's a difference between fixing issues after launch and just rushing out an unfinished game and hoping that people are fine with it. Whilst I think a lot of the criticisms that Battle League has dealt with have been harsher due to the high expectations of the game, there is no way to justify the decision to make the release of this game in its current state instead of just waiting a couple months to release a game of higher quality. And it's a real shame because the core aspects of Battle League are great and deserve more than the bad reputation that the game is receiving at the moment due to that lack of content. This is something that could have just been fixed with a little patience. But now, Mario Strikers has to battle its way back into people's hearts, which hopefully it will, because I know how great this series is, and I don't think it deserves to be portrayed in the way that it currently is by a lot of people within the community, including myself. Overall, I gave Mario Strikers Battle League a 3.5 star rating. The solid gameplay is let down by a lack of content and continued problems with the Switch's online service. I hope that this game receives big updates in the future to fill it out with characters and content to give the iconic series the hat-trick it truly deserves. So there you have it. There are my thoughts on Mario Strikers Battle League. If you agree or disagree with anything that I've said, please feel free to leave a comment down below. If you like this video, please share it with a friend and hit that subscribe button for more like this in the future. And if you're looking for more of a breakdown of the game itself, please feel free to check out my blog below. The link is in the description. Until then, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.